Trust Fund Baddies podcast, episode 7. My name is Marvin Goodley. I am a dating coach and expert, and we're going to discuss dating psychology today. Men, you have to be stoic when it comes to dating women. That is the only way to survive in modern dating. If you ever become too overly emotional, you will never be able to really have any type of peace with any woman. You know, it's more than just control. You have to have peace because you can never control a woman. That's the first thing you have to release in terms of having the right psychology, is the ability to control a woman. Now, if you attempt to do so, you realize that it's like trying to contain a forest fire. Anything in its path is going to get burned down. What you have to do is just be poised in everything. Be so poised, remind yourself of a quarterback or a point guard. You have to be an individual that no matter what is happening, you're just always centered, you're always relaxed, and you're just always at peace about things. You lose the best player on your team, you take a major injury, whatever it is, you got to bounce back from, almost a career-ending injury, a season-ending injury, whatever it is, you're just always like, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to be relaxed, it's going to be okay, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm never going to let my opponent see that I'm right now lost mentally. I'm going crazy in my head. I don't have control of myself. You never show your opponent that you are mentally vulnerable. That is the first step of having any success in modern dating, is being able to control your emotions. And at the same time, part of this control of your own emotions and not being able to control an actual woman, you have to actually just be willing to lose any woman that you ever come in contact with. That's the first thing that separates men that have success with women and men that are always either chasing a woman or they're in some type of emotional downturn and they're just trying to figure out some type of relationship, situationship. It's always an issue. They're dealing with partners and lingering with these partners for years, decades, as opposed to the men who, when a woman doesn't treat him right, he moves on to the next. You have to be so at peace and just so at ease with women. Let them come and go as they please. Certain women that, of course, overstep her boundaries and disrespect you and, beyond a point of no return, absolutely not. She has no room to ever come back into your space. But literally, as a man, all you need to focus on is your purpose, your vision, your mission. And you do that, the woman that's supposed to be in your life is going to be in your life. And then sometimes the woman you think is supposed to be in your life, and she's going to be there for a very long time, because you are dedicated to your vision, your purpose, your mission, you may lose her too. That is part of the game. I make the analogy of try to be a good quarterback. You can be a great quarterback like Tom Brady, but think what it cost Tom Brady for his mindset, for his vision, for his purpose. He lost his wife. All because his fiber, his inner being, his soul just tells him that, I love being on the field. I want to play football. At the end of the day, he's still a young guy, relatively. I know you guys think, guys in their late 30s and 40s are old. That's still a very young guy, and he was still healthy. So he wanted to play a little longer, and what did that cost him? That cost him his wife. But guess what? Did you see Tom Brady moping? No, the guy goes, does a Netflix special. He makes millions of dollars off the special. They're roasting him, roasting his ex-wife. Then he goes, and he's dating supermodels. Yes, I get it. He's Tom Brady. He's one of the top quarterbacks. The guy has all these things going for himself, but nonetheless, a lot of men don't bounce back from that. A lot of men, they get in those type of situations, they lose the confidence. But I'm telling you, the difference between men that maintain the confidence and men that don't is simply the psychology. Who is able to stay rooted, stay grounded, not allow themselves to become distracted because a woman now is in a different emotional state that he can't understand, that she herself can't even understand. You have to realize that about a modern woman. There is so much going on within her. She has changed so much. She's rediscovering who she is. And so you can't spend your life trying to understand her. She's spending her whole life trying to understand herself. Just focus on you. Focus on what you can control. Those variables as a man are, how do you show up every single day? Are you disciplined? That is all you can do in the world of dating, is showing up for yourself. There's three pillars I like to focus on. You have your health, you have your finances, and your relationships. If your health is at a low, if your finances are at a low, your relationships are going to suffer. Anytime, if your relationships are suffering and your health is suffering, your finances are suffering. These are pillars that have to hold themselves together. And so you have to acknowledge, where are you weakest at? If you're doing everything financially, you're doing everything physically and health-wise, in the health space, why are you losing it with women? It's because you're not emotionally centered. That is why you lack the ability to manage good and long-lasting relationships with high-value women. And that is why, at the end of the day, too, the reason you're suffering in your personal relationships or your intimate relationships, that's also affecting you in the workforce. That's affecting you as you go out. You're not really walking into the boardroom or walking into these meetings as this image you try to portray, as the man you try to be, because behind closed doors, you don't have everything together. You're still trying to figure it out. You're still trying to get this woman to see you're worth the time, to see you're worth the investment. For what? You've already climbed the ladder. You've already made all this money. What was the point of getting rich? To not have to explain yourself and overexert yourself to prove yourself to a woman. You got rich to prove yourself to a woman? I thought the wealth was the proof. I thought that was it. So as a man, stop allowing yourself to care so much. When you're with a woman in that moment, in her presence, appreciate it. It's like, enjoy the moment. Be present, literally be present at yoga. You just sit there. This is great. Where we're eating at right now is amazing. Where we're eating drinks at right now is amazing. She's a beautiful woman. She has a beautiful outfit, beautiful physique, everything. This is a great moment. She's telling me these sweet tales, whatever they are. It's great. The moment you walk out that door, you leave that restaurant, you leave that venue, you guys part ways, disconnected. It doesn't matter. Whatever happened in there doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how special it was, how intimate it was. It doesn't matter. You're present in the moment, and the moment she's no longer there, you disconnect from it. That is how you survive. But you keep feeding yourself these lies. You keep selling yourself the moment you have with her that it was more than what it was. That is where disappointment comes from. The expectations continue to rise and rise and rise and rise. You're like, man, we just had so much chemistry about this, and oh, she's from a similar place here, or we went to the same school there, or all these kind of things. We like the same music, we like the same movie, all these things. None of that matters. Sometimes, even for me when I was younger, all that stuff, granted, is cute. And I used to think that, like, oh wow, like these, small, I wouldn't even be able to call them like, just mishappenings or circumstances, like what are the odds? But it's just like, I would be like, oh man, literally, what are the chances that her and I are like this one very unique artist, or this unique indie film, or this book, this author, the show, what are the, it's like, those things used to get me so easily. And I would be like, man, a pretty face and some really unique, odd, similar interests, oh, that's my potential partner, to be. None of that matters. None of that matters. It's good, it's commonality, but it doesn't matter. You have to treat it the same way you would even treat meeting a male friend. Just because you guys have some of the same similarities doesn't mean it's the guy you give all your loyalty to and you trust him with, your deep, darkest secrets, and he's going to be there to ride for you. It doesn't matter. But why is it with women, we just let our guard down? It's just like, you get there, you get comfortable, you just kick your feet up, I'm home, I'm good. You're not good. At all times, you need to be on defense. Defense at all times. You let your guard down with women, and that is where you falter. I'm not saying don't find the vulnerability. Once again, in the moment, you're present. you allow yourself to feel. You allow yourself, even in that moment, you give her this limited vulnerability of you. You know, it's almost like this precise, calculated form of vulnerability you allow her to see. But your true heart, the true depth, you always keep that stored away. That is not something you give such early access to. But what happens to you men is because you invest this money, you're also emotionally invested. And even some of you are like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't really care, you know, it's no biggie. It is a biggie. You do care. It was, even though it was rent, you still felt that couple $1,000s. Even though it was just a trip, it was just a nice meal, you still felt that couple hundred in the sense of she wasn't grateful for it. So emotionally, you felt it. You didn't feel it financially, but you felt it emotionally. That's the cost. You guys keep thinking you can afford to just splurge on these women. You can afford to just splurge your time, splurge your energy, splurge your money. It is costing you more than you ever know. I was on the verge of literally losing everything, all because I wanted to satisfy and please a woman. I was on the verge of losing my own company, losing I was literally losing my health, I was losing my hair. Like literally I was losing my hair. All of that just to, you know, the relationship severs. Then I found out the same woman that I'm risking everything for is cheating on me. She's having an affair and I'm here trying to give her my all. What is it for? And it's more about than just, oh yeah, man, you had a bad experience. No, because I didn't leave because I thought she was, you know, having an affair on me. I left because I just knew she was an inadequate partner. We just really weren't there. We weren't able to really come together, and you know what, we were trying, but I just knew there were so many other signs. But finding that out afterwards made me realize, like, wow, here I am giving everything to someone who in reality, they are doing what's best for them, and that is just a human trait. That's not nothing even against her, that is just human trait. The Bible says to not put your faith in man, but to put it into him, to put it into Christ, to put it into above. So when you deal with women, you don't put your trust in them. You could love a woman, but you never trust a woman. That is just the nature and the beast of this. But you guys don't have that psychology. You still think that there is some special woman on this earth that you're going to meet that you can just fully love and trust until the day you die. And that is what's going to crush you. You can meet the most amazing woman, but there is still some layer of uncertainty you just always have to have. Not in the form of what she can do for you, but just in the sense of she's just a human, she's flawed. You know, she is at the same time this, you know, irrational being that may do something irrational at some point, even if she comes back. Because that's what I'm also talking about. It's not just about a woman doing something that's going to make you sever the relationship. It could be something that just throw you off your pivot, just get you out of your stoic state, to just get you out of your calm. You have to be able to just stay centered at all times. Dating psychology, letting go of women. You cannot care. So many men, they suffer because they're afraid to lose a woman physically. They're afraid of, you know, being able to still court her, have her around, feeling her presence. You have to be able to lose a woman. There is no woman on this earth that you should not be willing to just lose. There is no woman you should ever linger with. The moment you see a woman is not for you, don't linger. I lingered. I knew this is the wrong woman for me. Honestly, probably 2 weeks to the relationship. The woman I got engaged to, I knew within the first month, there were signs. I for sure knew within six-ish months. First 6 to 9 months, I knew for sure that was not the person I was going to spend my life with. What did I do? I still lingered for another year and some change. Trying to figure it out. And then what happens is, the longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive your return ticket is going to be. It's just something that takes a toll on you, and even your ego becomes intertwined in it. And it's almost like gambling, you know, you start putting so much money in, you feel like a fool, so you keep doing what? Keep putting more money in. until you realize you're like, oh man, I just, mortgaged off my home. I just risked it all off, like, it's a dangerous game, gentlemen. And I wish I could tell you it's something that you can just achieve in a week, even a month. No, this is a lifelong journey. You can learn the formalities in a few months. You can at least get the consistency and the discipline to implement in your life in a few months, but it is a lifelong journey because you're going to be tested by your future spouse. You're going to be tested by your kids, but as a man, the psychology you even have in dating is the same psychology you take elsewhere. But a lot of men, we're really not centralized in all forms of our life. There's, of course, no one is perfect. Some things are going to be better than others, but we have to be centralized across the board. The same mentality, the same attention to detail we put into our business, into our hustle, into our grind, we have to put that into our relationship. We don't shortchange ourselves when it comes to business partners. If somebody robs you in business, it's not a game, it's not a joke. You don't just let them stick around. But when a woman robs you of your time and your money and your resources, it's okay because she feels good. She got some good box. When you with her, other dudes looking, dudes asking about her, she got a lot of followers on Instagram, she got clout. There has to be more depth to you as a man. Is that all you are? Like even talks about, in the scripture, to just enter the bosom of a random woman. Like we're doing all this for random women. That's also something I think about too. It's like, it's already a sin what we're committing. And on top of that, we're just bleeding ourselves dry to commit a sin. Like, it's just like this, it's like a 360 deal in the sense of you're already putting yourself in a bad spiritual space and it's costing you financially and it's costing you mentally and it starts costing you physically. Then it costs you mentally, it costs you everywhere. So when I look at successful men that struggle with women, it makes me realize more successful men need to go get dating coaches. They need to go get help. You go get trainers, NFL players, NBA players, you go get skill specialists on the court, on the field. You need to go get dating specialists or life specialists. You go get a lawyer when you're fighting a big case. You need someone to help you navigate women, especially if you didn't grow up with a two-parent married household. You didn't have that father figure, that brother figure, that uncle figure that was there speaking to you. You need to go get help. Put the pride and ego aside. Talk to your brothers, talk to older men. I love to speak to older men that are married, divorced. I'm always picking their brain for what's the game, what did you go through? That also what helps me understand that we're just dealing with such a different beast than what it was in the past. Social media has ruined it for everybody. For everybody. These women seeing other women get a certain type of lifestyle, certain type of treatment with little offerings from the women's side, they're like, oh wow, I can do so little and get so much. Why would they try to do more? There is no incentive in modern dating for women to be traditional, for a woman to be nurturing, for women to be caring, because there is some simp, there's some sucker out there that's going to still give it to her because he is afraid to be alone. He wants to get her validation. He wants to be seen. That is more important to him than values. The money is frivolous. There are so many rich men with no values, rich, insecure men. They're poor in spirit. They're poor in character. They're rich in the world, they're rich in health, and that's why the world is so messed up. We see all these rich, successful people in the worldly sense, and they're just living the high life. They're driving the nice fancy cars. They got the beautiful girls. Man, these people are depressed, miserable. These women are getting flown out by other rich men. I've been on a flight coming from DC to LA, flying next to this baddie. I'm chopping up with her, we're kicking it off, we're hitting it off. I'm asking her, what are you going to LA for? She's like, well, I'm getting flown out by a Lakers player. So I'm like, okay. She tells me about the age of the player. She doesn't name drop the guy. I'm not interested. So I get home, I look up first of all, I get her number, of course, I'm me. I get her number, I tell her I'm gonna link her, and text her, whatever. So I get home, I'm like, okay, let me look up this guy. I look him up, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a big player. Yo, this big time player is flying this girl out. I'm checking her gram the next day, because we follow each other too. He done took her to Goyard and Chanel and all this. She on a shopping spree and she passed out her number on the flight. So that is what's on the other side, gentlemen. So you think, oh man, these other men got it great. They don't got nothing. That is what's on the other side of having all this money to spend. You spend all this money for a woman that does not care about you. For a woman that still is looking for more pleasure. She's still seeking a thrill. Because the only thrill you can fulfill for her is monetary. As long as someone can still make her feel something emotionally, she's always going to gravitate to that man. Always. That's why all you can do is be stoic. You can't control that woman. You can't control what triggers her, what she's going to be lured to. All you can do is be one with self. Not linger. Not allow yourself to settle. And if you do that, high value women will just naturally come to you. They can see it, they can feel it, they can sense it. Women that highly respect themselves, they can also see a man that highly respects himself. But women that don't respect themselves, they also know men that don't respect themselves. That's why so many beautiful poor women are with insecure rich men. Two insecure individuals altogether. The most beautiful women are usually the most insecure. For whatever reason, they just can't see the beauty that the rest of the world sees. That's like their curse in life. And the wealthiest people, majority of times, they're the most insecure. Whether it's a physical thing or whatever it is, they're just the most insecure. That is the balance of it. And so you're seeking this pinnacle of the more money, the better it may get for you. No, it's going to get worse. Nothing about your mentality and psychology is going to change. You're going to have the same mind. It's like not having the right workout plan, but you're going to the gym. Yeah, you're going to the gym, but you're still never going to have that great body. You don't have a good system. You go to the gym every single day. If you don't have the right system, man, you're in the gym wasting your time, man. We can both go to the gym for 30 minutes, right? But if I have a better system, a better workout routine than you do, my 30 minutes is more effective than yours. So it doesn't matter if we're both showing up. I have a system. That's why I'm more successful than you. That is why other men are more successful than you. Men that have less money are more successful than you in dating simply because they got a better system. Like, how are pimps pimps? They got systems. They got mind control systems. These guys literally think about the psychology of it. And not just that, they have a system to the point where they even know the type of women they're going to target. They're not just targeting highly educated women from the top universities. They're getting women that have some type of emotional childhood trauma. Their fathers aren't in their life. It's a very calculated system. So as a high value man, you have to filter it the same way. Why are you getting the low value women? You're almost like dating backwards like a pimp. Like a pimp is going for the low value women. He's leaving the high value women alone. So if you follow the pimp system, for you, it should be inverse. So you should be going in and get the high value woman. You should be leaving the low value woman alone. But no, you want the pimp's woman. You should be getting the woman the pimp doesn't want, but you try to get the pimp's woman, and these are the type of women you just cannot manage. These women are broken. So they want broken men. You're not the type of man that can keep that kind of woman. And even think about what a pimp goes through when he's dealing with a woman. Like, you've ever heard like pimps speak? They literally say like they're basically, in a sense, heartless in the world because they have to watch that girl get hit. You gotta watch your girl get clapped, man. And then you need to pick up the money. You keep it pushing. And they still hit these girls themselves. So think about that mindset that a pimp has. Like, you have to be so removed emotionally to be a pimp. Like, people praise like, oh man, it's like, no, like, these guys are really like, they're cold in the sense of like, you have to be cold. Like, there is no way any man is not disconnected from his mind and heart. And he's doing that type of work, living that kind of lifestyle. But that is the only type of lifestyle and the type of mindset, not lifestyle, but the type of mindset that allows you to prosper in modern dating, though, is that disconnect. You still have to take that same psychology of being disconnected from a woman. What value does she bring for you? And once you can capitalize on that value, what she does outside of that, just keep it P, keep it playing, you know. That is the dating psychology that's going to allow you to have success in modern dating. If you are a highly successful man that's killing it in your professional field, you're closing the deals, you know, you're the entrepreneur that's handling everything from the front end to the back end, but in your love, personal life, the back end that everyone else can't see, you're struggling, you're suffering, it's hard, I get it, I know, I've been there. And that is something that you want to fix. You want to get the right psychology so that you can be centered, so you can have peace, so that women can come to you and want to stay in your life. I want you to click the link in my bio, apply for Trust Fund Baddies Academy. Have a great day.